And Ramsey, we have been focusing on the USS Missouri, but we want to talk to the chief historian from the National Parks, Daniel Martinez. I've known him for years. His knowledge is unbelievable. I don't know how you keep it all straight, but I wanted to talk to you about the Arizona Memorial because there is a special dedication today.
Yeah, today we're dedicating the wall. The wall has been redone, and that was a particularly difficult job because the wall is not flat. It's concave. A lot of issues with that, of course, in rechecking names, and we'll continue with that research. But the wall itself will be dedicated today, originally installed on the memorial in 1962 when the memorial opened.
And to me, it's one of the most powerful parts of the Arizona Memorial because each of the names of the men who died in Pearl Harbor during that attack are listed there. And while you were renovating, you said it required a lot of research, right?
Yeah, it does require a lot of research, checking names, and we'll continue that. I'm going to be going back later this year to St. Louis to continue that research to verify rates and ranks. Once again, it's never really been done since the original names, 1,177 officers, sailors, and Marines are on that wall of Vermont marble. And we replaced that same kind of Vermont marble on the wall, the same kind of marble that's used at all the major memorials in Washington and monuments.
Also, the Arizona is the biggest attraction in Hawaii for visitors. What does it take in order to maintain something like this?
Well, it's a composite of, the visitor center is essential to orientating the visitor to now World War II Valor in the Pacific National Monument, which means that we interpret the entire Pacific War. Our partners are part of that. The Missouri, the USS Beaufort, and the Pacific Aviation Museum all have relics of the past, and that helps interpret for the visitor World War II in the Pacific. The greatest war ever waged in the Pacific took place here, and this was the jumping off point. So when you see a battleship like Missouri, this is Battleship Row, and throughout Battleship Row were these 7 battleships lined up here, and one of them is still here, the USS Arizona.
What amazes me is that you continue to make new discoveries in the waters of Pearl Harbor, and it's kind of like history and new technology uniting. Tell me a little bit about the 3D mapping you've been doing.
Well, the 3D mapping was a project that was undertaken by Scott Pawlowski, our curator. He was able to work and bring these entities to bring the latest technology. Now, when you think about the ship Arizona underwater, you can barely see it, but now through 3D, we can see it dimensionally like you would not believe. It's Star Warsian in many ways. And not only that, we're looking for wreckage that's off the ship. We've scanned the CPO bungalows that are just right behind us that we have, our memorials, Oklahoma Memorial, the USS Utah Memorial, and the memorial itself is all in 3D. The thing about underwater archaeology is that we'll be able to actually measure what's happening to the Arizona, have a kind of a prediction of how long she'll last. We can also monitor certain things as corrosion, and we can monitor the biogrowths on the ship. So this scanning that takes place today, that can be rechecked next year, and the following year, and the following year. So that'll set a benchmark of understanding what's happening with our ship and what's happening in the environment in which it sleeps.
Okay. Daniel Martinez, we want to just thank you. I could talk to you all day.
Okay.
Because your knowledge is so extensive on everything Pearl Harbor.
Well, there's an old saying, the more you know, the less you know. And I think that's true.
Because you realize what you don't know.
That's correct.
Okay. Well, we want to thank you for coming in today. I know you're very busy on this Veterans Day, so we appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
All right, Chief Historian for the National Park Service, Daniel Martinez. We're going to be right back here on Sunrise on the Road on the USS Missouri.